I'm sure he could be 60 years of age and people would still pay per view to watch him box someone.
And so the lure is still there.
Yeah.
They want to see Floyd get beat, even if it's somebody that's not a name that we... Man, a YouTuber did something that a world champion couldn't do.
Yeah. Didn't?
Yes.
No.
But I saw Floyd Mayweather get knocked down.
But at what point does Floyd have enough money not to stoop to do these exhibitions? But at some point, there is athletic dignity attached to 50 and 0.
Win team. I don't, I'm not really into hanging out with other celebrities. I've learned my lesson from that.
But you're the boss, and your team
Does this man have no shame? Is there any limit to how much money one can lose and still flex like a king? Because Floyd Mayweather may have just reminded the world that being undefeated in the ring doesn't mean being undefeated in life. The man who once made it rain cash on nightclub floors just found himself on the wrong side of a $402 million disaster, and Shannon Sharpe? Oh, he wasn't having any of it.
Same mistake that all four of us made. Trust.
It's a fact.
Trust. Every morning I get up in the mirror and I say, I say to myself, when I'm brushing my teeth, I say, you know what? Only person I can trust is that person right there. Because we all know we could trust ourselves, but we all always know somebody else.
When news broke that Mayweather fell victim to a $402 million scam, the internet shook, but Sharpe shook harder. He didn't mince words. This wasn't just a bad day. This wasn't just a slip-up. In Sharpe's eyes, this was downright embarrassing. He called out Mayweather for what he saw as financial negligence. A man who earned hundreds of millions should not be fumbling checks like a rookie. Shannon's disbelief was loud and unfiltered. Floyd, the self-proclaimed money man, looked less like a mogul and more like a magician who made nearly $500 million vanish.
Why has it always come to money?
Why not? I mean, everything you got on costs money. Everything you do costs money. You can't take your wife on a date for free.
Is that how you measure your success?
No. I'm loyal and honest, and I'm a good person, and I call a spade a spade. Money don't make me, I make money. And without money, I'd be the same person. I fought so many fights for free.
Sharpe made it clear. This isn't just about scams. It's about being responsible when you're at the top. When you make that kind of money, you don't get to say, oops. You double-check everything. Triple-check. Call the IRS yourself if you must. According to Sharpe, Floyd was playing fast and loose with the kind of money that can fund nations, not just nightclubs. And speaking of nightclubs, that's half the problem. Mayweather's obsession with cash isn't just symbolic, it's theatrical. There's no denying he sees money as a badge of success. But while he's stacking bills on Instagram, Sharpe's out here wondering if the man even checks his bank statements. It's not enough to make money. You have to protect it. You have to grow it. You don't just let it walk away in the hands of a scam artist and then shrug it off as part of the game. But Floyd wouldn't be Floyd if he didn't have an answer. His defense? Risk. He claims he's a business daredevil, that 90% of his investments flop, and he's cool with that. For him, it's about taking swings. Big swings. That gambler's mentality might work in the ring, but in the world of real estate and financial dealings, it's a recipe for chaos. Floyd treats the economy like it's Vegas, and sadly, the house always wins. Sharpe doesn't see bravery in that. He sees recklessness. He sees someone gambling with generational wealth, not building it. Floyd says it's about experiences, about freedom, about being able to take your family to Dubai on a whim. But to Sharpe, it's all flash and no substance. What's the point of private jets if you can't keep your financial house in order? And don't even get Sharpe started on the exhibitions.
I think if you can share anything with everybody that's tuned in, everybody see you and they say, all right, he has all of the money and he has to be extremely happy. But we know money don't always bring happiness,
Oh, absolutely
right?
not.
What's the biggest mistake that you've made in your life that you can share, with people?
Mayweather, the undefeated champ, still hops into the ring, but not for glory. For show. For the bag. Exhibition matches with YouTubers? Come on. Shannon's disgust was clear. This isn't boxing. This is WWE with gloves. It's not sport. It's spectacle. It's a sad encore to what was once a legendary symphony. Floyd's 50-0 legacy is being used as bait for pay-per-view sales, not as a testament to greatness. Sharpe made it plain. This is about dignity, athletic dignity. That thing you protect after spending a lifetime earning it. Mayweather isn't doing that. He's renting out his legacy one punch at a time. It's like watching a king sell his crown jewels for lottery tickets. And let's not forget the Logan Paul mess. That wasn't a fight. It was a circus. A boxing legend trading punches with a YouTuber in front of millions. Not for sport, but for clicks. Sharpe couldn't believe it. Why stoop so low when you've already touched the stars? Why dilute the brand you built with blood and sweat? Because to Mayweather, money justifies all. That's where the two men clash most. Floyd believes that if it pays, it plays. Sharpe believes some things are bigger than a check. He sees Mayweather treating legacy like a side hustle, selling it off piece by piece while the world watches in disappointment. The sad part? People still pay to see Floyd, not because they love him, but because they want to watch him fall. That's not respect. That's anticipation of downfall. And then came the real estate claims.
Into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings.
Mayweather boasted about buying 1,000 units across 62 buildings in New York. A bold move, a power play, a flex of epic proportions. Except the math didn't add up. Property records couldn't confirm it. No paperwork, no city records, no real estate groups notified. Reporters looked under every rock and found dust. When pressed, his reps couldn't clarify. One guy said his name was James McNair, except the voice didn't match past interviews. What is going on? The whole situation started looking less like a real estate coup and more like a real estate cartoon. Yet Mayweather insisted. He said his upbringing in affordable housing inspired the move, that he wanted to give back, that it wasn't about status, it was about legacy. Sharpe wasn't buying it, because this isn't the first time Floyd has exaggerated. This is the same guy who dropped $17 million on a watch, the same guy who once lit money on fire. Now suddenly, he's the poster boy for affordable housing? Sharpe saw a stunt, a smokescreen, a desperate grab at positive headlines in the middle of financial disaster. And just when you think the show's over, there's more. Mayweather's spokesperson doubled down. He said Floyd sees this as generational wealth. Said he's not just buying buildings, he's buying back the block. That's nice. It sounds poetic. But until those deeds show up in official records, Sharpe's keeping his arms crossed and his eyebrows raised.
Same mistake that all four of us made. Trust.
It's a fact.
Trust. Every morning I get up in the mirror and I say, I say to myself, when I'm brushing my teeth, I say, you know what? The only person I can trust, that person right there. Because we all know we can trust ourselves. But we all...
Because here's the truth. Mayweather's entire brand is built on two things, money and mystery. He shows just enough to keep fans intrigued, but never enough to confirm reality. That's why Sharpe snapped. This isn't just about losing money, it's about losing credibility. Mayweather once changed the boxing world by betting $750,000 on himself. It was bold, audacious, beautiful. But that same attitude has now become a liability. He's still betting on himself, but he's also betting on wild real estate rumors, on sham exhibitions, on the idea that money alone will keep people cheering. Sharpe doesn't think so. To him, this is the downfall of a financial fairy tale, one where the king stops protecting his castle and starts leasing it out to clowns. Shannon believes Mayweather needs to grow up financially, be a champion outside the ring the same way he was inside it. Enough of the stunts. Enough of the circus acts. Because if Floyd keeps this up, the legacy won't be 50-0. It'll be 50-0 and $402 million short, the kind of stat that turns a legend into a meme. Sharpe doesn't hate Mayweather. He just hates to see greatness treated like a gimmick. He wants Floyd to succeed, but not like this. Not off the backs of exhibition fans and sketchy real estate claims. He wants Floyd to live like a true champion, not a desperate showman juggling bad bets and press statements. And at the end of the day, maybe that's the saddest part. Because somewhere under the gold chains, under the private jets, under the stacks of cash, there's still that same kid who bet on himself and won. Who left Top Rank, paid his own way, and took control of his future. That Floyd was smart. That Floyd was strategic. Today's Floyd? He's in exhibition rings. He's claiming deals with no proof. He's losing millions like loose change in a couch. And to Shannon Sharpe, that's not just disappointing, it's tragic. So what's next for Floyd? Will he bounce back? Will he regain control of his financial empire? Or will the world keep watching as the money man makes money disappear? Only time will tell. And now, here we are, watching the man who built an empire from dodging punches fall into a trap no one saw coming. The public sees a legend clawing through a mess that could have been avoided with the same precision he used in the ring. It's a twist no one predicted. Shannon Sharpe didn't just react, he erupted. He called it out like he saw it. A man obsessed with money playing fast and loose until it finally backfired. It's not just about a $402 million mistake. It's about pride, recklessness, and the price of always chasing more. If you're loving this wild ride through money, ego, and mayhem, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more explosive breakdowns like this one.